Welcome back to Southpaw Picks, and you're here with your host Charles, and this is UFC Blaydes versus Daukaus, and it will be taking place out in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. Packed arena. We're getting two arenas filled with fans back to back before we get a week off to come back again to another venue packed with fans for that crazy pay-per-view coming up. But let's get to the task at hand. Starting with a quick recap. Last week, we go 7-5 on predictions. Not my best week predictions-wise, but we have an outstanding 10-unit weekend. Not to mention the free parlay of the week, the public parlay we hand out cashes too. So everybody's a winner here. And that's what I like to see. I like to see bet slips getting cashed. I like to see people happy. And I've just got nothing but great support since this page has been launched. So obviously, show all the betting slips on the screen here before we get into the full card breakdown coming up here. But yes, phenomenal event for me. 10 plus units. That sets us at 20 units already for the year 2022. And as you know, I'm not one of those guys who go heavy units week to week to week. This will be one of those weeks because we have a break off. We're gonna take it a little slow. We're not gonna get back all our money to the bookies. Take it a little slow and continue this on. If we're 20 units right now and it's not really entirely the first quarter, imagine what it will be at the end of the year. Thank you for rocking with Southpaw Picks. But let's get into it, man. We're going to kick it off right now with the main event of UFC Blaydes versus Daukaus, starting off with Curtis Blaydes and Chris Daukaus. Now, Chris Daukaus, as you know, coming off a last loss to the Black Beast by first round KO, a fight that I predicted him to win in. He kind of got engaged into a firefight with Derek Lewis. Wasn't the best decision. Probably should have circled away from the power and landed his clean shots. But nah, he tried to go gun-ho at Derek Lewis. And this is what happens when you throw hands with the Black Beast. You go to sleep. Curtis Blaydes, on the other hand, he's coming off a win against Jairzinho Rozenstruik, where I felt he wasn't himself there. I felt he was a lot more timid than I'd like to see him. But coming off a knockout as well to Derek Lewis, you know, you don't want to be shaky going up against another powerful, heavy-handed puncher. Now, the tail of the tape here, we have Chris Daukaus coming in at 6'3", Curtis Blaydes 6'4". Curtis Blaydes will have a 4-inch reach advantage here. And if you're familiar with Chris Daukaus' game, he's a crisp boxer, quick hands, very light on his feet. When he sees the kill and gets you hurt, he will put you out with multiple combinations. Curtis Blaydes is probably the best wrestler in the heavyweight division. Very questionable as far as his chin goes. People like to say is the narrative, but looking at his losses with a 15-3 record, he's only lost in Ngannou twice and Derek Lewis, who are the most ferocious power punchers in the heavyweight division. Everybody else he's going out there and starching. Shamil Abdurakhmanov finished him. Junior Dos Santos finished him. Volkov, that was a 5-round tough decision, but it was dominant nonetheless. I like Curtis Blaydes here, and I like him by finish, ground and pound. I think he's going to take Chris Daukaus down. Probably look a little weary in that first round. Chris Daukaus' hands are very quick, and it might take Curtis Blaydes a second to adjust to that matter. But I feel like once Curtis Blaydes gets to take down, I don't see Daukaus getting up. And if he gets up once, he's definitely not going to get up twice. Curtis Blaydes, ground and pound finish. And that's how that main event's going to go. Moving on down the card, we got a wicked co-main event at the flyweight division. Joanne Wood, no longer Calder Wood, versus Aleksei Grasso. Now, do a quick breakdown on Aleksei Grasso. She's a heavy-handed, well, as heavy-handed as the flyweight division could be. She's got crisp boxing, great high-tight guard, moves laterally, quick inside popping shots. She's coming off a fantastic win, in my opinion, to Macy Barber, where we caught her as I thought we got her as a dog. If I could go back and look at that, we got her as a dog odds there. And then coming off another win to Jung Young Kim. As we know with Aleksei Grasso, she's got excellent boxing combinations, and she's going up against a very, very touted veteran in Joanne Calderwood. And as you can see, these people she's faced, Talia Santos, Lauren Murphy, Jessica Ai, Jennifer Maia, and Angela Lee, pretty much the top of the division in flyweights. Now, to me, this is a tricky fight, right? You got Aleksei Grasso coming in here as a -250 favorite, in a fight that is going to predominantly play out on the feet. I don't see, to be honest, who would have more of a grappling edge here, because I've seen in both instances where both these girls have been susceptible to really being grounded. I do see Alexa landing a lot more cleaner boxing combinations, but JoJo has a wonderful teep kick. She's very tough, great elbows in the pocket. This fight is going to play out very, very closely. And as much as I like Grasso here to win, the younger, fresher fighter, I kind of do feel like Joanne Wood at this point in her career is a little bit checked out at 36 years of age. She's already lost to one of the young gunners, Talia Santos, got finished in the first round. And, you know, I just wonder where the motivation is here. We haven't seen Grasso in a year, so I'm expecting some big improvement. Even though, obviously, you look at the caliber win, Jun Young Kim and Macy Barber are definitely not the caliber of the 5 fights Joanne's coming in here. Expect a close fight. That minus 250 tag is dangerous, but gun to my head, Alexa Grasso by split decision here. But Joanne is going to make you guys scared if you got money on Alexa Grasso. Moving on down, we got the people's main event. Matt, the Immortal Brown versus Bryan, Bam Bam Barberena. You already know, this is a blood and guts fight. These guys are going to throw hands in the pocket. This is a very dangerous fight as far as betting goes, because I find both these guys, when you watch the tape, they don't necessarily fight to win. They fight to entertain. And Matt Brown coming here at 41 years old, you know, 23 and 18, you know, basically, you know, close to a 500 record, win some, lose some. And Bam Bam coming here 16 and 8, but some of these losses, Vincente Luque, Randy Rude Boy Brown, the Jason Witt was his first fight back in a while, so we'll give him a break in that regard. He got really pushed with the pace. But when I look at these fights, the last 3 guys Barberena has fought were guys that were pretty much dedicated to trying to getting him down. I like Barberena's durability. I like his boxing combinations. I don't like his will to like to engage in a firefight. And in that type of chaos is where Matt Brown is going to thrive. I do see Matt Brown here as a 4-inch reach advantage as per Tapology. Listen, Tapology, message to you. There's a couple heights on here listed that you see them face off, and this is why you got to do make your bets, you know, post face off, right? So you can really see how these guys size up. We'll get into that a little later, but I like Bryan Barberena here to win a close decision. I can see this fight stretching out. I also can see a finish, but I kind of feel like these guys are going to have the durability because Bryan Barberena doesn't necessarily have the most pop in his shots. He's a volume type of striker. Matt Brown likes to load up. I don't think Matt Brown's going to be able to take down Bryan Barberena, so I do think this is going to be a slugfest for 15 minutes. And I like Barberena to win rounds 2 and 3 after Matt Brown is slowed down. Give me Bryan Barberena by unanimous decision. Moving on down, we got a flyweight title eliminator. Askar the Bullet Askarov versus Kai Don't Blink Kara France. Now, Kara France, as you know, coming out of City Kickboxing. He's coming off 2 back-to-back KO wins over Argiro Bontarine, where you know he had his back taken for the whole round. Gets up, drops him. Herb Dean touches the fighter, does what Herb Dean does again. Is it fight's over? We don't know if it's over. It was over. Moving on down, he clocks Cody Garbrandt, dropping 10 pounds to the flyweight division. But we already know Cody's chin is compromised. Kai Kara France, excellent striker, excellent low kicks, great overhand right. And he's got a lot of power on that shot. You can look over the course of his film. When he lands that overhand right, these flyweights do the little stanky leg. He's very quick. He's very smart, and he's got a lot of experience coming in here, 23 and 9. Now, Askarov, undefeated with 1 draw to Brandon Moreno, right? Taking that fight on short notice in his debut. But Askarov is the definition of the Dagestani flyweight killer. Relentless pressure, outstanding grappling. He's got decent strikes, but he's not overcommitting to too much. Just straight shots down the pipe, decent kicks to the body. But if I'm gonna be honest here, the striking edge is on Kara France's side, and the grappling edge is on Askarov's side. Now, going on this here, it says Askarov is 2 inches taller. I saw these guys stand right in front of each other today on the scale. Kara France looks slightly bigger. This worries me. Askarov is coming here as a minus 400 favorite, and yes, there is a clear path to victory for him, but Kara France is a veteran. He's dangerous. He has momentum right now, power in those hands. If he lands on Askar right early, this fight could look remarkably different. Now, am I going to pick Askarov? No. I'm going to go with Askarov to get the takedowns and win the grappling exchanges, but sprinkle Askarov first round KO. You know, even sprinkle Askarov just in general. Have a little straight play on him because, you know, he drops him in the... You saw with the 2-gear Ulanbekov fight where he's winning majority of the minutes, gets hit with overhand right, gets dropped, lose the round, right? Obviously, Tim Elliott, way better counter or grappling. And we'll really see what Askarov has in that aspect. But look out for Askarov to really step into the pocket, throw straight shots down the pipe, and close the distance and try to wrap up Askarov and choke him out. My official prediction will be Askarov by rear naked choke in the 3rd round. But if you're feeling a little spicy, sprinkle some on Askarov by KO. I know that line is probably insane. Moving on down, we got one of the most funniest matchmaking situations here. We got a heavyweight bout between Aleksei, the boa constrictor, Oleinik, and Ilir, Latifi, the sludge hammer. Now, both these guys are past their prime. Both these guys like to engage and like to grapple. Aleksei Oleinik surprised me one time when I was looking at the film, seeing him win a striking battle with the likes of Fabricio Verdun, right? Landing that big overhand. He's got some wonky shots that come from deep angles. But look at this, a 5-inch reach advantage. They sized up really well, but you know what? Maybe a 41-year-old, 40-year-old Aleksei Oleinik, I feel like would be able to submit Ilir Latifi. But as you can hear the commonplace joke with Ilir, how do you choke a man with no neck? Ilir is going to come in there. He's going to go for the takedowns. He's going to lay on top of him. Not going to be too busy. Just complete control. I don't believe Aleksei Oleinik at this age is going to just have the cardio and the desire to want to wrestle with a guy like Ilir Latifi coming off a win. I'm going to go Ilir Latifi. Not one of the fighters you want to have money on, but I'm going to go with him to win by TKO in the 2nd round. Moving on down. Whew, we got a banger here. And it seems like they moved it up to open the card. We got Marc Bone Crusher Diakiese versus Viacheslav Borshchev. And as you know, we'll start on the Borshchev side. An outstanding kickboxer with great takedown. Well, I can't say takedown defense. But when he hits the mat, he gets right back up. Great with the mat returns. Gets up and continues to punish his opponents. He throws nasty shots to the body. I love guys that don't just head hunt and mix it in with the body. Now, his fight with Dakota Bush, we saw him get stung a little bit. Right? We saw him get stung. We saw Dakota Bush pretty much lead the charge until he was able to, you know, get out of the takedown situation and land that body shot and break him. Now, Marc Diakiese is someone with power in his hands, and he's gone up against a pretty tough schedule of opponents. That's why his record looks this way. Losses to Khizriev, where he took a beating for 15 minutes. Losses to Rafael Alves, where we were on that dog play. Alves hits him with a flying knee, guillotine choke. Sometimes you got to let guys be when they get hit with flying knees. But Marc Diakiese will be coming in here with a 4-inch reach advantage. Now, how is that going to help Marc Diakiese? I see a lot of people talking about how Marc can utilize the grappling. You see, what I've learned from betting MMA over the years, just because you see somebody do it in a certain instance in a fight doesn't mean they're going to come with that game plan. If you are going to bet on someone and hope they wrestle, make sure they wrestle in all their fights. Don't see a scenario where he strikes, and then he goes for the takedown, and then expect him to do the same thing here. Marc Diakiese probably will only go to the takedowns when he's in trouble. And if he's already in trouble, going for the takedown against Borshchev, which a guy who's only been learning how to defend against takedowns and punishing guys who get in on his hips, it's not going to look too good. I like the underdog shot on Marc Diakiese, but I'm going to side with the credentials, the crisp shots. I mean, watching Nasrat Hasparaz just bully Marc Diakiese is just not a good look. And I think Viacheslav Borshchev is going to... Nah, he's not going to get him out of there. He's not going to get him out. I think he wins a close decision. Marc Diakiese is pretty durable. I'm going to go with Borshchev. Close decision. And I'm going to take him to win in this bout. Give me Slava Claus. Moving on down, we got the prelim headliner. Neil, the Haitian sensation Magny versus Max Payne Griffin. Now, both guys in some way, shape, or form are gatekeepers to the top 20 or the top 30. Max Griffin, in my opinion, the gatekeeper to the top 30. Neil Magny, in my opinion, gatekeeper top 10, maybe top 7 in that regards. I mean, he's a tough fight. I mean, Neil Magny, you already know what he does. High pace, high volume, great jab, great clinch work, great knees, manages distance well, manages power punches well. And Max Griffin is more of a dog type of guy, you know, great athleticism, decent boxing, but definitely doesn't look fluid out there. Kind of an all-around fighter, to be honest here. Now, can Max Griffin catch Neil Magny? It's not out of the realm. They're both very experienced. As you can see, 8 losses each. But with that being said, Neil Magny is 2 years younger and has nearly double the amount of UFC experience. And training over their Elevation Fight team, I just think Neil Magny is going to walk right through Max Griffin. I feel like he's going to maintain the threat level that Max Griffin provides, clinch him up, maybe get the rear naked choke. We'll see. Neil Magny is desperately in search of a finish. I think he can get the rear naked choke here, but might be a little bit wishful thinking. I'm going to say Neil Magny wins a unanimous decision and outstrikes Max Griffin maybe like on a 3-to-1 ratio. Neil Magny is the pick. Moving on down here, we got female bantamweight fight. Sara McMann versus Karol Rosa. Now, Karol Rosa is my girl. She's coming in here hot in the UFC, undefeated in the UFC. I bet her every time down, although this is a different and intricate challenge with Sara McMann. Now, Sara McMann is a high-level wrestler who is going to get Karol Rosa to the floor. She is going to get her to the floor. It's a matter of how Karol Rosa deals with that type of situation. She's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, so you know she's not gonna be out of her realm as far as grappling goes. But you don't like when people are so confident in their jiu-jitsu that they want to lay on their back and play guard. And because Karol Rosa hasn't really given us any data in the UFC on how her takedown defense holds up, she has a pretty high takedown defense, but she's not really going up against a top wrestler like Sara McMann, who pretty much gets a takedown in every fight she's in. Sara McMann usually in these fights is usually winning these fights until she loses these fights. She's 41 years old. You kind of wonder where the motivation is. Very similar to Joanne, and we've seen a lot of fights here matched up where the new talent versus the old talent. You kind of just wonder where the motivation here is for these ladies. I like Karol Rosa here. I hear what everybody's saying. The underdog price on Sara McMann is juicy, the experience. But I'm going to go Karol Rosa. I think she's the new breed. She's the up-and-coming girl. And at minus 220, I'm not going to second guess it here. I'm going to say she pulls it out, throwing straight shots down the pipe, out volumes Sara McMann. Probably gets taken down in the first round, maybe gives it the first round, but then rallies back, wins round 2 and round 3. Sara McMann doesn't like to get hit, and Karol Rosa throws a lot of shots. So as long as she can maintain her base and fight off what Sara McMann is presenting to her, I think she's the all-around better fighter in the situation. Give me Karol Rosa by unanimous decision. Whew. I love this fight. We're going back to the male bantamweight division here. We got Batgerel, Denis. They switched his name up. He had to let them know. Versus Chris El Guapo Gutierrez. Now, I liked Gutierrez early in the week when he was plus 130. I was like, oh, wow, Gutierrez plus 130. You love the leg kicks. You love his finish over Andre Ewell. And yada, yada, yada. Right? The fights where he doesn't look that impressive against Geraldo de Freitas and Felipe Colares split decisions, I had to ask myself, why doesn't he look that impressive? And it's not necessarily about the grappling. It's about the pressure to me. Chris Gutierrez showcases his best skills when he has room to operate. When he's given room to get these kicks off. When he's given room to be patient and, set traps and really beat up the lead leg. Watching tape on Batgerel, not too much space. He crowds kickers. He's going to crowd Gutierrez here. He wings nice looping shots. And what I mean with that is, even though these shots aren't coming straight, they're very accurate. You see over the course of these fights in the last 3 he's been in, he's really landing on guys. And at first I tried to discredit his win streak by saying, well, Guido Canetti, who's that, right? Like, not that impressive. You know, Kevin Latifi died. Yeah, he got KO'd. Miles John KO'd him. And Brandon Davis, capable fighter. We're all giving him props for what he was doing against Giga, but he put him out real quick. Chris Gutierrez keeps his hands down, and he's more of a kicker, and this is a kicker versus a puncher here. And this is a puncher that's going to press. I don't see Gutierrez hurting him on the feet with his hands. I only see Danaa controlling the octagon, landing heavy shots, preventing him from using his leg kicks, and really forcing Chris Gutierrez to run around the ring. And that's what I think we're going to see here. Does Danaa touch the chin? I'm going to say Danaa might have to go a little deep in this fight. And I'm going to say Danaa wins a unanimous decision. I know, Charles. All these decisions. Where's the finishes? Relax. They're coming up. Speaking of right now, we got Aliaskhab Khizriev versus Denis Tiuliulin. Denis Tiuliulin is taking this fight on short notice. Training out of Extreme Couture. He's won 5 out of his last 4, but he's got a 10-5 record. So, I mean, how impressive is that against the undefeated, the Black Wolf? And we saw in his Contender Series, he just needed 50 seconds to lock up the contract. He is a very aggressive striker, nasty leg kicks, dangerous high-pressure grappling. He really goes for the kill at all moments. Now, he's a 5'9", quote-unquote middleweight, and Tiuliulin is a 6'1", quote-unquote. I saw him stand up against each other weigh-ins. I mean, if that's what 5'9" and 6'1" looks like, dog, I mean, like, why ain't I dunking in the league? You feel me? I should be out here dunking, son. But minus 1,000, I mean, the value's been taken away. I think it's minus 350 to even get him by finish here. To make this story short, Denis Tiuliulin's got to land a straight right down the pipe that hurts Khizriev early. Otherwise, it's just going to be a bloodbath of repetitive grappling and probably end inside the first round. Give me Khizriev first round submission, and he'll stay undefeated and progress through the middleweight division. Now, we got a flyweight bout between Jennifer Maia and Manon the Beast Fiorot. Manon coming in here as a minus 475 favorite. She is ginormous compared to Jennifer Maia. I saw it the weigh-ins today, and she was in slippers and Maia was in shoes. So I already know it's going to even take a different level down low. I think Fiorot can get the finish here. She's too physical. She's too strong. Jennifer Maia is taking this fight on short notice. She's already explained she has a wedding at the end of the year. She's probably not focused on championship. She's focused on her wedding. She's focused on making some money. She's coming in here to get half her paycheck, to get her ass whooped. And I don't know if she's going to fight through it. I think she'll be okay with getting put out early. I got to go with Manon Fiorot, and I think she wins this by KO. It's a hunch, though. I'd rather take the tag. I think minus 470 is pretty good. You know what I mean? She's just such a better fighter. Jennifer Maia's been in there with some tough people, but this is just not the matchup she wants to see. Without wasting too much time on it, Manon Fiorot, the Beast, by TKO right up against the fence, probably end of the second round. Let them know Southpaw Picks told you that, bro. Now we got a flyweight bout. David Dvorak, The Undertaker, versus Mateusz Nicolau. David Dvorak coming here 20-3. Nicolau is coming here 17-2 with 1 draw. Now this is a close fight. I taped it. I watched it. But to be honest with you, no guy really does anything really better than the other. Nicolau likes to stay on the back foot and likes to counter. David Dvorak likes to press forward and throw. Now, he doesn't really throw too much combinations, but he does have power in his hands. I'll give him that. He does have decent size for the flyweight division. Now, Nicolau, to me, probably the better jiu-jitsu, but and the better strength of schedule here. But man, this fight's close. These rounds could be so even to the point where the round ends and you're chilling with your boys and you're looking here. So who you think won that? You know what I mean? And if you don't know who won that, I can only imagine what the judges are going to write down. This just sounds like someone's going to be disappointed if they have their money here. Tough fight, man. I wish I didn't have to give you guys a prediction here because I could see both guys winning. And this is the reason why I can't bet on this fight in particular, because I could see it happen for either guy. It's really gonna be a matter of who is on their game that day, who is the better man that night. And just for the sake of strength and schedule, just for the sake of the fight not going his way and him having to dig deep and pull out wins out of his ass and go up against other counter strikers that are high level, I'm going to give the slight edge to Matheus Nicolau. He seems to find a way to win fights when it doesn't go his way sometimes. And Dvorak kind of has just been, you know, not facing pretty little resistance, right? Not really having to dig deep and recalculate. So I'm going to go with Matheus Nicolau, but I wouldn't be surprised if David Dvorak wins. I'm going to go Matheus Nicolau by split decision. Moving on down the card here, we got the prelim opener, Luis Saldana versus Bruno the Tiger Souza. Bruno Souza, karate point fighter, and Luis Saldana, very, very, very high-level striker, throws a lot of jabs, good crosses, good leg kicks. This is an interesting fight just because I don't really like the talent level of Luis Saldana. I don't think he's UFC level. I think he was one of those guys that were brought in to lose to Vince Murdoch, and he kind of tipped the power of balance and got the finish, so you got to give him the contract. You know, I think his debut, he lost to Jordan Griffin, and then so in my opinion, he's coming off 2 back-to-back losses. Like, I thought he lost that fight, but they gave it to him. It was close enough, I guess you could swing the other way. Bruno now debuted against Melsik Bagdasaryan, who is just an absolute pressure fighter, pressure cooker style of kickboxer. And, you know, he hung in there. Melsik is finishing a lot of guys. Bruno Silva was able to kind of stay safe, keep the jab going, and really apply, apply no engagement for Melsik to get the finish, right? Bruno Silva really stays on the back foot the whole fight. And in this spot here, I would like Saldana to have more volume than him, but Saldana didn't look good on the scale today. I don't know if you guys are noticing that. And then just the sheer physical stature of Bruno Souza, you could just see that guy's going to have a little bit more pop in his shots when they land. Now, Bruno Souza is a brown belt, I believe, in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Hasn't come into play. Like I said, he's really out here showcasing his karate skills. I've been back and forth on this. This is very low level, but based on the scale, you know, these little slight things I'm noticing as far as physique and just physicality, I'm going to go with Bruno Souza here. You know, definitely not the most confident pick on the card. Very low level, but I'll go with Bruno Souza to win a unanimous decision. And there we go. There you have you. 13 fights. I think it's a pretty safe card as far as betting-wise. And let's talk about some of the plays I like. I like Curtis Blaydes inside the distance, right? I like Bryan Barberena if you're going to pick him. I like Askarov inside the distance. Neil Magny, lock. Batgerel, Danaa, I like him. After running the tape, I got to make a play on him. And Manon Fiorot. So I'm going to be mixing up those guys. Fiorot, Batgerel, Magny, and Blaydes by finish. And you know what? I'm going to go investigate as far as the overs and unders in that fight. And maybe just taking the under just to cover myself in case Chris Daukaus does land an early shot on Blaydes and wobble him. This is Southpaw Picks. I want to thank you guys again for showing up and turning out to this great show we have here. We're up 20 units for the year. Our prediction record is over 60%. Guys, we're killing it out here. Look around. Look at all the other cappers. They're not in the plus like me. Come on, you decide. Anyways, like I said, thank you for coming back to Thank you for watching Southpaw Picks. Catch you guys later. We have a week off next week, so you'll be missing me, and we'll get right back into that big pay-per-view ahead of us. Hamzat Chimaev, Petr Yan, and obviously Volk versus the Korean Zombie. So, like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching Southpaw Picks. Catch you later.